My name is Chantel Smith, and I moved into Santiago Lodge in April. On the street, I stayed in the shelter once in a while, but I didn't stay there often because there were so many girls that stayed there that were stealing. I had everything I owned stolen 7 times in a matter of 2 years. Everything I own stolen from me, from other girls in the shelters. I'm 53. Basically, I was on the street since I was 14, but I spent 11 years in residential recovery and my own places as well. And there's periods where, when I got a job, as I got paid, and I was able to pay rent somewhere and stay somewhere. I spent a lot of time crashing on my friends' couches while I was looking for an apartment. It was really hard to rent an apartment. I lived in Alberta, but because I looked so young for my age, most of the time I was just sort of brushed off. A lot of people didn't really find a reason to rely on anything I said. They figured I was just someone that would be full of bull. To get to where I had been was harder than I had made it for myself. So I made a pretty good living as the months went by in different jobs. Sometimes I had 2 or 3 jobs at once. Working was pretty much essential to me, even when I was on the street. There's times I had jobs. Yeah, I've been an animator. I animated for a year, and I've also been a home care worker, and I was a babysitter for a while. That was like 3 years, and that was when I was like very young, in my teens, right? I worked in a women's shoe store. I did some short story writing for a fanzine that was out in Vancouver for a while, and it's closed up now. But yeah, I worked in a coffee shop. It was in Port Moody. Yeah, I was a server. I was waitress, the cocktail waitress. I worked the bar at Mike Legal Ski Resort. Yeah, I just started to prove to myself, I guess, that I don't need to dwell on the fact that I maybe haven't had a chance to finish my schooling. That I'm still capable of doing whatever I need to do. Yeah, I did that as well. I didn't start doing that until I was 16. I started at age 16. I quit at 33. I just quit. I didn't want to go anymore. I slept for pretty much constantly for about 5 days, and just realized that's not where I wanted to be. That was a result of a lot of the abuse that I had grown up with. So the money was nice though. And I was tired, and I was going down Robson Street, and I stopped and looked in the window, and it was dark outside, so you got a reflection of whatever was under the light there, right? I was falling asleep, looking at the window display, and I turned around, and there was actually 4 of them. There's 4 guys, and they're all look about maybe 25 years old, and they had set my hoodie on fire, and I managed to catch like a whiff of it for a second, and I was like, what the hell? And I bent over and I pulled my hoodie off, and it just was sitting there on fire, and I felt my back pocket. I was feeling my hips, put my hands on my hips, and then I was feeling my hips, and my money was gone. My welfare money was gone. They stole $700 from me. Yeah, I'm on methadone. It's all right. Sometimes it doesn't work. It has so far, because I'm on a higher dosage. It takes a lot out of me, right? Because pretty much immediately from getting my dosage delivered in the morning, within a matter of like 10 minutes, I'm asleep again. Oh well, whatever, until I get used to it. Like I'll just use sleep as my best friend right now, right? So I spend a lot of time sleeping, relaxing, reading in bed, get my feet off the ground, because I've been pacing the streets for the last 5 years now, right? No, I'm just not doing drugs makes me tired. Yeah, my cat's interesting. He's a third generation Mancoon, and he's my big, huge best friend, and he's passed away last month. My so-called friend Troy stole him from me. I asked him if I could leave Tona with him for a couple of months because I had to find a place to live, and I knew it was going to be hard. He doesn't appreciate drugs at all. He knows when people are going to do drugs. Yeah, I was clean for 11 years when I had my cat. I can't imagine subjecting animals to drugs like this. People walk up and down Hastings Street with their dogs and sit there and smoke crack right on the sidewalk and fucking people blowing in their faces and shit. It's not right. He was my best friend. I was always at home with my cat until I got illegally evicted from Sunset Towers. My friend Bob was taking care of him. He lived in the other tower. And Bob wasn't answering his phone on the weekends because I used to go and visit him on the weekends. And he wasn't answering the phone. 5 weeks went by and I started freaking out. So I had his key, so I went to the apartment. And it took me 3 weekends for somebody to let me in. Finally, somebody let me in. And I went straight to his house and I could smell a dead body. And I opened the door and the child locks were on. He's got 3 child locks. And I could see his legs, his feet, his running shoes, and I was going, Bob, Bob, and then I heard this meow. And I was like, Tona, and I started kicking the door. And I broke the child locks, and I broke the top hinge of the door. And I climbed over, the door was bent. And I climbed in, just squeezed in through the door and climbed in, and then I jumped over his dead body. It was black, he was all black. And I grabbed my cat. He made this little bungalow from this little igloo thing for himself out of all my clothes. I had my clothes hanging in the closet. And he took my clothes and he made like a house underneath the bed. He didn't have any food. He just and the toilet bowl was empty. He was drinking water at the toilet. That's all he had. Yeah, I do lots of stuff. I do paper mache and I also draw. I spend a lot of time drawing real, drawing life pictures. I like drawing animals. I've had everything, like I said, for the time that I've been in shelters. I've had everything I've owned stolen 7 times, so I don't have a lot of history as far as being able to provide something to sort of represent my work, right? People have stolen my figurines that I've made. They just steal my art. I don't know what it is that they like so much about my art that they need to steal it, but they do. Yeah, it's frustrating starting all over again. It's peaceful. It's quiet. I feel secure because the management is a nurse. I had fun meeting him. He's a nice guy. Yeah, I do feel safe here. It's your room is an apartment. You get an apartment, so I treat it like my home because it's my new home, right? So I clean every day, so it's very clean. I can't imagine living in any kind of apartment that has any similarity to the street.